What's up, guys? Thank you very much for clicking on my video today. We're going to be looking at the SpellSlinger healing for both raid and dungeons. Now right now I only have one build set up and I don't know what I'm going to use it for, either PvP or dungeons for certainty, and then when it gets to the raid levels I will probably make some adjustments. Right away I did, yes, mention this was going to be a healer build, and as you can see here, Mobile Fire is in tier 8. Now before I go into depth as to why that is, I really want to get into the amp system, and I want to look at some of these abilities down here. Healing Torrent, I guess it's a good ability. I mean, you can tier it up so it doesn't cost that much to use, but it's really not worth it because you do have to spend 5 power points or power amps just to get up there, and then you gotta put it on your bar. And then you gotta tier that up. It's just really annoying. So I'm just not gonna use it. I mean, I might use it, I might not. But you know what? That's all I wanted to say about that, because I don't want to go in depth about that ability. It's just nothing. I just don't want it because I don't want to have to unlock it and have to tier it up, and it's just gonna cost a lot of points in between that and there. So first things first, guys, you really do need to put a debuff on. You can pretty much tier this thing up all the way so it dispels all debuffs from one ally, or actually from an ally and other allies within 5 meters of him. So I'm not too sure what the count is on that. I don't know how many allies are going to be debuffed, unless they're all going to be debuffed. I don't know. But it also does heal them, so you really want that one on there. But because I did tier 8, I already have 16 points gone, and the rest are in the support tree, and only 3 points from the Purify. Now, Gather Focus, I like that. I really do. You can tier that up if you want to. It's just, I would use this ability if I was in a dungeon. I would use this ability at 75% focus. I don't have beta, but everything you see here isn't under NDA. It's public information. Everybody can show it, so I'm not breaking any kind of rules here. But I really think that everybody needs Purify and everybody needs Gather Focus, because you're probably just going to need that stuff. You know, there are ways to get around it. You know, Gather, go into the amp system. You go over here. Increase your focus, and then increase your focus rate, like your recovery. But you know, you don't have to do that. I'll just go through Gather Focus, and you can get that stuff in. Cooldown at 30 seconds, not too bad. You can also tier that up. But the other thing that it really does is debuffs your heals. So it's an actually really great ability. But for 6 seconds, it's gonna kill your heals by a lot. And you know, tier 8 to make sure that doesn't debuff your healing is a lot of points you gotta spend in just to make sure you're not debuffed like that. But whatever, let's move on past that one. In the support tree, if your class has the ability to put some kind of shield or heal a shield, or put an additional shield on top of their shield, like this one, Distortion is a shield on top of a shield pretty much. So it's an absorption shield, which means the green and blue now also have like a yellowish kind of on you know, yours green for health, blue for shield, and then it'd be like orange yellow for the additional shield on top, which is amazing. And what's really cool is the cooldown for this is less than 20 seconds. So if you get to the tier 4, by the time that shield is gone, you can apply it again. You can apply it 2 seconds before it dissipates. That is if somebody doesn't knock it down first. And the next thing we're going to be looking at are 2 very similar abilities called Sustain and Vitality Burst. Now, these both are going to be on my bar because it's a charge heal, but they also have cooldown. So the longer you heal, or the longer you charge it up, the bigger the heal, but the longer the cooldown. Now, the way I have it played out in my mind, is that I'm going to first start off with Sustain. So I'm going to do a 1.8 second charge, or no, I'm going to do, I think, half that. It's like or almost a second charge to get the first charge. Okay, so I'm going to heal them for the first charge, get that 3 second cooldown, go over to Vitality Burst, and I do believe I had decided to go with charge 2, and then by the time the 2 points, actually no, go to either charge 2 or charge 3 right after hitting the sustain, charge 1, because it takes almost 3 seconds for Vitality Burst to get off, and by the time you get that off, you're going to have another sustain available to you, because remember, first charge is going to cost 3 second cooldown. So You get that off. Then you get this one off. Full, or you can do charge 2 or charge 3 when you're setting that one off. Doesn't really matter. It's 2-second differential between the cooldowns. Then after that, you can hit up sustain again, and then if your targets still need that much more healing, I would suggest putting up dual fire. Now, if you really want dual fire on your bar because of two things, and it actually is related to the amp chart. So it does both damage and it heals your allies. But also, if you go over to the amp chart and you look at, let's see here, critical, well, pretty much critical hit and critical chance is over here. So that's amazing, because if I can find out where it is, if I can find out where this freaking thing is over here, if you can critically hit someone with a healing ability, you generate 5 spell power, which is awesome. And they have another one over here, which if you critical hit with damage abilities, you gain another 2 spell power. So if you're getting crits like crazy, you're getting a lot of spell power back. Now, I also have this ability unlocked, which is Trigger Fingers. It's really high up in there, and it costs a lot, but it's worth it because it does take down your cooldowns. So that is why I have Mobile Fire at tier 8, because every time I use it, I get 2 power. If I get a critical hit, I get another 2 power, and if I'm using Dual Fire, which is a 1.6 second mobile cast, at tier 4 it has no cooldown, so I can continuously use that thing over and over again, and if I do get crits, I do get more spell power. So pretty much, this build is built to get you as much spell power you can, and then just use it whenever you want to, because the way this thing is built out, I have 3 spell power every 3 seconds. So if it's on, if spell power is on, spell surge is on, every 3 seconds I gain 1 back, or I gain 2 back, or I gain 3 back. This one is just making it a bigger pool of power to choose or to get from. So that's nice. And if I'm hitting crits, I'm getting 2 spell power back every single time. If I'm hitting crit heals, I'm getting 5 spell power back every single time. If I'm using Mobile Fire, I'm getting 2 spell power back every single time I use it. Plus, I'm cooling down all my cooldowns by exactly half a second. And I'm going to prove that to you, because you really can't tell from over here, but you have to go over here and look at it. Trigger Fingers minus half a second per use. So every second I get half a second off all my cooldowns. It doesn't say assault, doesn't say support, it says all active cooldowns. So if we go back over here to abilities, we look at, Vitality Burst, it's on cooldown. If Sustain's on cooldown, use this thing 2 times and they're pretty much up again. And you want the big heal, but I don't have it very tiered up, because it is kind of expensive. Plus, I don't want to reduce it to 10 seconds, and I really don't care that the damage is reduced to 35. It's just really not worth my time. So when you are building it, you can build it a lot of different ways. Mobile Fire has the exact same effect at tier 8 as Rapid Fire does. Rapid Fire generates 2 spell power down as well, but it is stationary, and the range is exactly the same, and the channel is exactly the same. So if you can get 2 spell power moving around, do it. Doesn't matter. There's really no precautions when it comes to that. So 16, yeah, that's a lot for Mobile Fire, but it does get me my spell power back up, and so I can have it active, or I can use spell power all the way down to 0, and then I do believe it automatically turns off so that you can get it back. So I can use Dual Fire, which has no cooldown at tier 4. I can just continuously use that and get crits like crazy, because I have all my critical hit chance and critical hit percent up as high as they can go. So yes, you do have to spend some in the cell power to get up here to the slash tree. I could screw around a little bit, because I'm noticing that you can't get to tier 3 over here unless you put something over here or over here, but I don't want to go all the way up here and hit these. I really need to do some screwing around and trying to get power surge, because that is amazing to have. as well as healing aura. So 9-point difference, and I don't know where to take it out, put it in. I guess I can take these down, but I do need to get into third. I don't know what I can do, but those are a lot of things that you want to keep in mind. Criticals, especially for spellslingers, because they do get 5 power back for healing, which is, this is a healing build, so 5 power is a lot, and 2 per crit hit. So that's not too bad. It's pretty much a critical hitting ability. You throw this thing on somebody, hit these 2 up to sustain and vitality burst. Always have dual fire on. It's only 9 focus a cost, and then again you have your dispel plus your gathering focus off too. So the most spammed ability that you're probably going to be having is dual fire, and then once your spell surge, you can always use mobile fire too, so you can trade off between dual fire and mobile fire, and you know, you just have some fun, guys. But I really appreciate it. That is my build that I hopefully will get to use when I get into the actual game, when you can't really get all these points in beta. This is full end game type build, but I really do appreciate you guys. Throw some comments down. Doesn't matter what it is. I listen to them all, even the bad ones. Thank you.